again for coming today. So we're just going to take a little bit a look into how we can prepare ourselves for the US election that's coming soon. I believe that's going to be like it will be on November 3rd. So that will be like in 42 days, I think, something like that. So just to give you an overview of what we're going to talk about. So we'll firstly talk about when is the election, of course, and we'll look at some historical data of how the market reacted on the election day, prior to the election day, on the election day, and after the election. And also I'll give my opinion as to how or if should we really care about who wins or not. And of course, I will give you a little bit of my opinion on how somebody can prepare himself to trade this move coming soon. And of course, just for clarification matter, I want to put this disclaimer out here. I'm not a financial advisor, but this is just my opinion as a humble trader. And anything that I will talk about here is just for education purposes. So when is the election? The election will be on Tuesday, November 3rd, which is 42 days from today. And when we look at historical data, if some of you guys know, I have this big money index indicator that I look for to know when the big monies are moving in the market and when they are getting out. So we're just gonna look at historical data of that indicator and see how they reacted or what they indicated us about the market last time. So this is the first one starting from 1996. You can see that this blue line here shows the date of the election. And so this was prior to the election. And the green circle shows what happened right after the election. So from what I can see here in 1996, the market was pretty high. And then prior to the election, they start selling. And right after the election, they bought back. They bought back the market and it went right back up. The next one was in 2004. The next one, which is in 2004, it was pretty much the same thing. As you can see here, the market was pretty high. The big money starts selling. Just after the election, they bought back in the market and drove the market high again. And the same history happened in 2012. Which is that the big sellers, they were in the market, they start selling, they were in the market, start selling, and right after the election, they bought back the market, regardless of what happened, they bought back the market and went back up. So when I'm looking at what is happening right now, if you look at what is happening right now, you can see that we were up here and we are going down. So I believe I believe we're going to pretty much do the same thing. So we might keep going down like in 2011. So as you can see here, it went all the way down a little bit to the 40s. And then maybe right after that, we're going to go back up. I have a screenshot from today. So this was the same history in 2016. And if you look at today, we are pretty much here at 70 already. So I'm looking for this to go all the way down to some 40s before the election, or maybe at the date of the election or something like that. Now, in regards to how somebody can prepare themselves, what I believe is the best way to do is, as you can see, I'm going to share my my chart here. If you look at the volatility, if you look at the volatility of the SPY, you can see that the market has been a little bit slow. The market has been a little bit slow. It was going down, but it's already gaining a little bit more volatility since a couple of days. This was when we started a little bit selling. When we start selling, so people are already getting in the market, and they start being a little bit. The market has started being a little bit more volatile, and I'm hoping for this volatility to continue like this. So my idea is this: what somebody can do, first of all, the first thing would be you can trade this volatility. And how can you trade this? There is the TVIX, which is a kind of a stock which tracks the volatility of the SPY, but it tracks it in the way it works is that it is in an opposite correlation with the SPY. So, for example, if you look at how the SPY reacted, let me do two screen here. So how this SPY and the TVIX work is that when the SPY is going in negative, which shows that people are scared and they are selling and there is a lot of volatility, the TVIX goes up because it shows that the volatility is high. So it's gonna go up. So as you can see here, for example, in March, when there was a big dip, the TVI went from $40 to about $1,000 because of the high volatility. And now if you look, because this TVI actually what it does is that it's kind of the stock which calculates the volatility, and the volatility itself is the VIX. So if you want to trade the volatility, you can trade it as a stock by buying this TVI, or you can also buy options of this TVI. But if you want to buy the options, you can go with the option from the VIX. Okay. So as I said, my opinion is that you can trade this volatility by preparing yourself for the day of the election. You can buy a call, or you can buy this TVIX right before the election and then sell it right after the election. Because what's going to happen is before the election, people are going to try to sell to get out of the market for the outcome, because there is uncertainty. Nobody knows who's going to win. So everybody going to kind of stay out and just leave it there to keep themselves safe, especially the big money. The big money is already getting out right now. But if you want to be in the same side or at the same position of the big money, you need to stay safe, stay away from the market, look for the outcome. As soon as we get the outcome, who wins or what happens, then you can get back in the market and looking at what happened in the market. If you got some stock which are at a discounted price, then you can benefit from those price and buy the stock. My position, what I've already done is my winners, I've already cut them off. I've already sold my winners, and I just keep some cash in my account, waiting for the time. When the time comes, I already have my watch list of some stock that I'm looking at to buy. And if I get, just right after the election, when I see some stock that are already a little bit down enough, I can buy those and wait for the market to go back up. So that's one of the ways that you can trade it. And of course, the other way that I said was, if you trade this volatility is going to go a little bit high, and then right after you can get out. You can either buy these stocks, or you can buy you can buy the options. And talking about options, actually, one of the best way to trade options, especially for this type, you can buy those leap options. And what a leap option is, a leap option is any option that goes to more than 100 days to expiration. So, for example, and I'm gonna give you a little bit some example on why I think it is better trading the leap options other than the normal options or the short time options. So we're gonna look at options for the VIX. Okay, I'm gonna look at the option. I'm gonna look at the. Let me show you. Here. Okay, so I'm gonna look at the SPY option that expires in. Let's take something from November 2020. Okay, November 2020. We're gonna take like 330, right? November 2020. Okay, so if you look at the SPY, if you look at the SPY from the very top, where it was, we're gonna calculate how much it gained from the very bottom that we got, in March, all the way to the highest which was 355. If you look at that, the very bottom was 235 all the way to 355. The gain that we got recently was about 40% actually, about 40%. So if you bought the SPY right when it was in the bottom and you hold it all the way back, all the way to the 350, you would have gained 40% on your investment on the. However, if you decided to buy the SPY, a leap option of the SPY, which expires like in November 2020, you could have bought it for, if you see here, the very bottom, it was sold at about $1. It was sold at about $1, and the highest price which it was sold to was about $34. So if you bought the option and kept it all the way to the highest level, you could have got out with more than 600%. When at the same time, another person who got in the SPY at the very bottom and stayed in all the way to the top, they could have got only 40%. So this is the other advantage of the leap option. When you are trading leap options, it gives you a really pretty good leverage. And of course, when you give yourself enough time before the expiration date, then you really have time to do anything else that you want to do. Like if you are not certain of your position, you can just be patient and let it gain, and you will still be profitable. All right. Does anyone have any question? No question, guys? Okay, so I guess my what I'm talking about is pretty clear here. So that's pretty much it. What I want to show you guys is actually what the big money are doing right now in the market, which is staying a little bit out, waiting for the election date to get back in the market. And the other thing that I wanted to show you guys was what I believe would be a good way to trade this or to prepare for this, which is, first of all, by having a watch list of your preferred stocks that you really want to buy. And once you have that list, as soon as the market's going to be lower enough for you to get in, you can get in and buy those stocks. And talking about buying those stocks, what I wanted to point out is that you can buy a leap option instead of buying the full stock. If you buy the leap option, of course, it's going to be a little bit more expensive than buying like a 30-day option. However, you have more time, and that you have more time to get to expiration, and it is more profitable because once it goes back up, since you have time with it, since you have more time with it, everybody will look to get what you have, and what you have gonna gain more value. So that was my point. And another point was of course that we can trade the volatility. If you are willing, you can get into this TVI and TVIXF or VIX, and you can trade those volatility. All right. If we do not have any questions, hold on. I think I have a question here. Okay, what's the price between the stock VIX stock and the leap option? Well, it is quite different. The TVIX multiplies the VIX. It's 2 times the VIX. So if the VIX is trading at $20, the TVIX will be $40. Let me just show you that. So like right now, as you can see, this is the VIX is trading at 27. The TVIX closed at 63, which is approximately not 100% the same thing, but it's approximately the 2 times. It is supposed to be 2 times the VIX. And when you are buying the options, VIX options are pretty cheap actually. You can get some at $300 or something. Let me see. So personally, what I have some call options for VIX expiring in January 2021. And of course, you want to give yourself some time. You don't want to take something that's going to expire right at the expiration at the election date or very close to the election date. You want to give yourself some time because there is a lot of uncertainty coming on. So yeah, you can get something as you can see there. They were being sold at about 650. But if you get anything closer, it's gonna be a little bit cheaper. If you get December, it's gonna be a little bit cheaper. And of course, when you are buying another thing, when you are buying an option, never buy a not the money option. So if the TVIX is trading, if the VIX is trading at 27, don't buy something at 27 because it's already overpriced. You need to go a little bit out of the market, a little bit out of the money. So if you want to buy something at the TVIX, don't buy at 27. You can buy like at 30 or at 32 as a strike price. But don't worry, as soon as the market gains, everything gains with it. Even these ones that are out of the money, they're gonna gain. And you don't need to wait for it to expire. As soon as you have enough gain, you can sell your option and just keep the profit. All right.
Just Emmanuel,
Did anybody have any other question?
yeah, there is a question I would
Yeah.
like to ask related to the coronavirus. What do you think about that? Do you think that it's gonna
Mhm.
affect the market, even like with the elections and like it's kind of a different scenario than it was before, right? So, what do you think about that?
Yeah. So first of all, based on the historical data, September has always been a pretty slow month. But most of the time in September we see a loss of about -1 or 0.5% in the SPY or in the overall market. However, right now we're already at -7%. So we know that we already have the coronavirus. There is the election coming, and September is already at -7%, which is a lot compared to other months or prior years. So now it's kind of give you an idea that it's gonna be a little bit higher, like the loss gonna be a little bit higher than the normal.
And usually, how is October after?
October is a little bit quiet because everybody's kind of waiting for the uncertainty. They stay a little bit out, and then in November after the election, we start seeing people back in the market.
Mhm.
And Tunde, how do you feel about the presidency? You know, we have Trump and we have Biden. You know, how do you feel that, let's say, Biden wins? How do you feel that would affect the market and also the Canadian market?
Yeah. So right now, I'm really basing my position on historical data because what I can see, or for I think everybody has seen this, the market has been a little bit crazy. Whatever people are thinking is not really what is happening. But history or data has most of the time has been pretty right. So from what I can see from historical data, it doesn't look like it's really matter who wins. What happens is that it's just that the big money, for example, they get out, they wait for the uncertainty, and then they go back in. So in my position, I believe it doesn't really matter who's gonna win. But of course, Trump has a kind of a positive leaning on the market. So if it is Trump, I believe we might see a little bit more money invested in the market, or we might see more volatility than usual, even if it is still like the big money going back in the market, but they're gonna go back with a lot of strength. But if it is Biden, then maybe we're gonna go a little bit slowly, and they're gonna get in a little bit slower. And in regards to the Canadian market, I believe the U.S. market has a lot to do with the whole market because that's where most of the investors are coming from, and they look at it. They look at the U.S. market to kind of reflect their overall market. And another thing that we can see is that the Canadian market has not really moved that much since the coronavirus, the big dump from March. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't noticed any of the Canadian stocks that have gained a lot. I mean, other than the financial companies, for example, I haven't seen anything else that has gained really much. Like the Air Canada has not moved at all.
Mm-hmm. Right, right.
Yeah, and it's already losing a little bit. Actually, Air Canada, we might see the tens again. Mm,
Okay, thank
okay.
you for answering
Anyone
the
else has a
question.
question? No problem, man. So if maybe the sell off in the U.S. markets will affect the sell off in the Canadian market too, and then after that, as they are coming back, we might see the Canadian market gain a little bit too.
Mm. Okay, that's good. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. I think it was really, really interesting. Really great to know, like, as I think I'm gonna
No,
probably like follow the strategy. I'll probably read a bit more about it and see, basically if it fits what I'm trying to reach, my goals and stuff. But a really, really great presentation. Before ending, I just wanted to add something, just related to the group itself. So we created a social media. So now I would invite you to basically, if you want to join us on Instagram, I'm just gonna put it on the chat. It's know.wealth, right?
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
yeah, because now basically, yeah, we also have the website that you can get there. If you want to invite friends to join the group, that would be great. We just try to basically grow the group and have more people. So thanks again, Emmanuel, for that. Really, really interesting. I'm gonna share the recording tomorrow, so everyone can see it if you want to see it again. And if you have any questions about the strategy, I guess you can ask Emmanuel directly. And thank you, guys. And if no one else has any question, have a great evening.
All right. Thanks a lot, Bryce. Thanks a lot, Emmanuel.
So
And
thanks again.
thanks a lot to everyone who joined in. Thank you very much, guys and girls.
Thank you. Good night.
So